Hello and welcome to Furious 7.
Curious 7?
Well, we're going to watch Furious 7.
Yeah.
This actual
But
episode.
what they're watching isn't Furious 7. Hopefully they're not like looking for YouTube piracy links.
I just picture someone like watching this now and going to their friends and be like, I just don't think there were enough cars in this one. It seemed like the camera work was lazy.
The budget was way lower.
Yeah. And what was up with Matthew Perry? Why was he there? Welcome to Curious 7.
There you go.
Where I have only seen the first 6 Fast and Furious movies, and Chris is a fan of the franchise.
Yeah.
And we're watching through all of the movies. And this is the 7th one.
It's less of a concept when I've only now seen 2 more of the movies than you have.
Yeah,
When we first started, it was like, I know nothing and I know lots. I was like, we know like almost about the same.
Yeah. No, I'm kind of an expert now. But yeah, so this one, I think this movie, so I know this is going to sound really strange to you. I think this movie is the first time that I actually paid attention to the franchise.
That doesn't surprise me because I think a lot of people, like, it's shitty that it happened, but I think Paul Walker's death got a lot of eyes on this, especially because people started to be like, oh, like, well, he's still going to be in this movie. And like these big dumb action movies that like I know exist, but I don't like go to see. Like now I'm kind of like curious or like, I don't know. Like I feel like, and it might be other factors too, but I think that was a big thing. Was what got a lot of attention on this one.
That definitely plays a role in it.
Yeah.
Because for a long time, this was a series that I was aware of, but I just really like I couldn't tell you anything about them except that they're about cars.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is like the first time that I'm like aware of like trailers and commercials for it and stuff like that. Like it's actually like on my radar for the first time.
It might have been the perfect storm too, to where like I don't know when. Okay, so like I was like totally alone in liking these for like a lot of years, and then like somewhere along the way, like between like 5 and 7, like the rest of the world kind of started to get in on it, and like so I wonder like if this was just the amount of time it took for that groundswell to build. To then we're like people online, like in my head, I'm thinking specifically about like content creators on YouTube. Like they would be like, oh, the Fast and Furious movies are really fun and whatever. And like they weren't saying that like in prior years. So I wonder if like it just all kind of happened at the same time where like the Paul Walker shit happened. And then like everyone else was just kind of like feeling it more and promoting it more. And then like, so around this time, everyone was like watching it.
Yeah, could be. But yeah, I still, at the same time, don't necessarily know what happens in this movie. I mean, I know like that ending scene is kind of like iconic at this point.
Yeah.
That it's like you see that all over the place, or at least the shot I'm talking about of like them looking at each other in the cars and everything,
form and everything else.
So like I know that, but outside of that, like I couldn't really tell you what happens in this movie, which is probably a good thing.
I've seen the movie, and I don't know if I can tell you what happens in the movie.
Well, then I guess we should try to watch the movie and see if we can tell all these nice people.
Yeah, all them.
All 13 of you. Just for the sake of ceremony, though, I feel like
predictions. Yeah, for sure.
So let's see. In the last one,
yes,
we got Letty back. Mm-hmm. She's got amnesia.
Yep.
But she's like back on the right team now.
Oh, this just occurred to me. What if she came back and like this like new brain Letty didn't like Corona? Would she get like kicked out of the family? Like what would happen? What would they do?
Yeah, so I wonder how big of a deal is Dom just like kind of like jovial about Corona,
or is he like fucking ride or die with
like,
the Corona?
Seriously,
like Corona's the 10th member of the family.
Yeah,
like
because he's very serious about a lot of like he really like holds tight to tradition and everything. So I wonder if he draws the line at alcohol choices or if that's like just a joke. Or
I would have loved if like Letty comes back and they bring her to the house. She's like, I don't like beer.
and that's the end of the franchise. Yeah. Dom gets in a car and drives away.
Matter of fact, I don't like cars. Yeah. I'm a cyclist.
He doesn't kick her out. He's like, well, I'm done. And then just drives off into the sunset.
Yeah. But no, we got Letty back with her amnesia.
Yeah. And I don't feel like this series would do something where like she turns back against them. Maybe, but I feel like we're gonna have this like continual struggle of like of her like that everybody else like, you know, acting as if, well, because she is a person that they know really well, but yet she's still like kind of like trying to figure it out and doesn't really get it. And
you should have been on a consultant on these movies. They don't do anything with that.
yeah, really, they just ignore it.
I wish they did that. What you're talking about, I wish they did that.
All right, well then I'm gonna say that
that actually sounds really fucking good, but no.
Either way, we know Jason Statham's in this one because he was at the end credits of 6. And he obviously does not like Dom for some reason.
Yeah.
We didn't really get that. We just know that he like killed another friend of Dom's just for the hell of it.
He killed the Corona.
Yeah. So I'm gonna maybe in this one we're gonna go with this. In this one, Brian is kidnapped.
Okay.
By Jason Statham. And Dom's gonna get in a nice car, go after him.
All right.
And then end credits.
That sounds good.
Them leaving this prison that he's locked up in is that final shot where they're like, all right, well, I saved you. And he's like, yeah, thanks for saving me. See you later. And then they go their separate ways.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna go with. All right. Well, we will be right back with Curious 7. And we are back. And thought it was very nice that they dedicated the end of that movie to Paul Rudd.
God.
So without even seeing the 8th one, I wish it kind of ended there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
and I from what I've heard, my opinion's not going to change.
No. Yeah. I wish we could retroactively have ended it here. I had an optimistic viewpoint at the time. I was like, it should have ended here, but if they really feel like they have a good enough story to warrant making another one after this, I'm willing to like see what that is.
Yeah.
And like it didn't end up going that way, but like, yeah, man, this literally would have been like, that would have been the perfect ending.
Overall, I actually really liked this one.
Really?
Yeah. It would definitely be in my top half. Okay. Like it's I like as goofy as it is, it's like really it's like enjoyable goofy. Like it's like fun. It never feels like it's like I don't know. Like there's like, you know, it never feels like dumb goofy. It just feels fun goofy.
Oh, it got dumb goofy for me.
Well, I mean, all right. Yeah, maybe a little bit.
I will say I like this one more than I remembered liking it. Because to me, like, okay, so like when I saw it the first time, I pretty much just repeated the cycle here again. I really enjoyed like the first, like let's say first 2/3, whatever. I was like, I'm digging this. I like this. And then that last section in LA happens, and I'm like, oh fuck this. Like I hate this. This is like, it was like when, you know, like my brother who talked about like was like really pissed off about 8 and was like mad. I was just like bored during like the end of 8, but like this is the one where I got like mad. I was like, this is not what I want out of these movies at all. Like it was like I was actively like pissed off. It happened again today. But then the very ending is so fucking good that you forget, and then it's like, oh damn, that's really fucking touching and beautiful. And like I forgot, like as it was coming up, I was like, oh fuck, this ending's coming. I'm gonna fucking cry. Like it's so fucking like bittersweet and like just fucking great. But yeah, dude, like I had forgotten, I guess, how much of it that I did like before the part that I really dislike. Yeah. It was like that stuff made me forget about all the stuff I did like, and then the ending makes me kind of forget about how much I hate that
I didn't think
section.
the ending was that bad.
Dude, I think it's fucking dreadful. We're like this shit with like Dom and Jason Statham like fighting like with like double dual wielding like lead pipes and shit, and like like it, dude. I think it's so bad, and like the fucking like. The thing about a street fight, the street always wins. Yeah. And like it's like, you thought it was gonna be a street fight? Well, you're right. And he gets rid of the gun and he like fucking, it's just like, dude, there's so much about it that I think is just so dumb and lame, and like Like, and then even the whole thing itself is like, there's so much of it that I guess it's just you that I don't care about. Like, I get why they did it. It makes sense that they bring back the like weird military group that they like fucked over in the beginning, but we don't really give a shit about any of that. Like, I'm gonna assume you don't either. The God's Eye, Ramsey, that group, like you don't really give a shit. It's not really about our characters. Like, they did all of that as a means to an end to get to Shaw. And so, like, it just feels ultimately like that thing in LA, like, a lot of it is just, like, shit that doesn't really matter to us. It's just not that.
Yeah.
It's not that interesting to me.
Well,
I don't care. Like,
and is there actually any resolution with the God's Eye thing? Now that I'm thinking about it, like
they hacked it back from them, and then they got blown up with the grenades that the Rock magically knew were in the bag that were hanging from the helicopter that Dom ramped off and hit. And,
yeah, you're right. Okay.
Yeah. It's just like there's so much of that that's just like, dude, like and by the end, like you don't even care. For me, I gotta stop saying you. By the end, I didn't even care about what happened with Dom and Jason Statham. Like when I saw the end credit scene of 6, I was like, holy fucking shit, I'm in for this guy versus Dom and Brian. And then by then I'm like, I don't care. Like, just get this over with. Like I realized during this viewing that it takes a fucking feat to make someone who's as into these movies as I am to make me not care when you're teasing that Dom might be dead. I mean, it's also because like I just didn't buy it.
Yeah.
But also like I just like whatever. Like fuck Dom. Like, I just like this. He's not very likable in this movie.
I don't know.
I just like I feel like all he did was it's like he said family like 16 times and he was mad. And although actually I shouldn't say that, there were things I liked about Dom in this movie because I felt like we got to see him more vulnerable than usual in this one.
Yeah.
Like he fucks up a lot and like he like is scared sometimes, and I liked that because like in most of the movies he's like the invincible superhero of the team. And like that kind of annoys me. Like I like it. I like it more when like Dom and Brian are on kind of equal footing, but just in different ways. But like in the latter movies, it's kind of just like Dom's the god, he's the mega guy, and then everyone else is kind of there and they help. Like, and so like I liked that in this movie. While that is still kind of the case, like Kurt Russell's like, you're the man, Dom, and whatever else. Like, I like that there are moments where he's like, oh shit, there's no brakes, and he's fucking like you can see he's actually scared. And in the beginning, when like, which I like that they go back to race wars too. That's the one thing I liked about it. But when like Letty's about to race and she's like, ride or die or whatever, he's like, maybe just ride on this. And he's like trying to like make her be caught. That's like, you don't really see that out of Dom in any of the other movies where like he's the cautious one. Like, so I liked that stuff. But like, I guess I'm just saying like the character, like he just, I don't know. I guess something about the way he's portrayed in this movie made me like him and care about him less than I have for the entire rest of the series.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really see that.
I mean, that's totally fine. It could just be me.
I think that we kind of lose sight of, or at least I did, where you kind of just forget why he's like chasing down Jason Statham.
Yeah.
Like by the end of that movie, you're just kind of like, he's just doing it because that's what he's doing, right? But
yeah,
you kind of like lose the whole like driving force of that.
Which is
like,
that he killed Han and tried to blow them up, and
everything. And it's like you kind of just.
He wants revenge because he wants revenge.
I didn't think about that till he went back to the house. You're like, oh yeah, the house is blowing up. Like, you know, like, it's just like I feel like maybe some more fallout from what Shaw had done would maybe make us care more about Dom trying to like get him back.
Yeah. And also I think just like, I mean, okay, that for sure, but also just like the way that that final confrontation goes. Like the fight itself was so ridiculous that I was immediately removed from any of the stakes of it. Like I no longer cared who won or lost the fight because the shit they were saying and doing in the fight was so dumb, and I was just like, fuck this. Like for me,
yeah, I wish the city had come and play more.
Yeah, there's that fucking ridiculous Ben and I were trolling the shit out of it where like Roman wants a gun and Don's like, what do you need a gun for? We got the city. And I'm like, what the fuck is the city gonna do? Like,
yeah, that's
there's a lot of weird head scratchingly like bad nonsensical lines in this. Yeah. I was like, what the fuck? Like, what are you talking about?
Like, all right, so obviously like in the context of knowing like the ending is mostly, is meta the right term or whatever?
Yeah.
Like the ending is obviously like not really the ending of the movie as much as it's just like a farewell to Paul Walker.
Yeah.
But like, so in the context of the movie, none of those lines make any sense.
Are you talking about like the voiceover stuff? Or like the things on the beach?
Like the voiceover stuff and the things on the beach and everything. Like they're like, nothing's gonna be the same again. And it's like, what? Like why? And it's like, and it's like, it's never goodbye. And it's like, what? That's ominous. Why are you saying that?
No. I'll actually defend that because like granted, you probably just saying I wouldn't buy it because every movie they're like it's the last one, we're never coming back. But like the story of that is that like Brian is like fully accepting I have a family and I'm just gonna be the family guy. No matter what fucking happens, you guys are doing shit.
Yeah.
I'm going to save my family. That's what they're going for, and so that's why the character's like, oh damn, like look at him, like he's a dad now, and like. He's not going to be with us on these fucking crazy adventures anymore. Everything's going to be different.
But see, that's what, like, I didn't buy that because he was a dad. He's been a dad for a movie now.
Yes.
And yet, but he was still like, I want to go back out on an adventure.
Yeah, they didn't do enough to make us believe that, like, something changed on this one. Oh, well, okay, you know what I bet it was? It didn't work for me either, but I bet what it was supposed to be was that he finds out he's having a second child. Maybe that's the thing is like, oh shit, like.
But that seems like kind of shitty still.
Yeah.
But he's like, oh, well, I guess I'm in deeper now, so I got to just own it.
Right.
Like,
I'm not saying it's good. I'm saying that might be the reason they're expecting us to accept. But like you said, like, I mean, you kind of can't really look at it as just a story anymore because of the fact that all of us know that ends the way it does and is the way it is because Paul Walker died. Like. Yeah. And so, like, and granted, I think they did an amazing job of wrapping that movie up with what happened. Like,
for sure, yeah. I'm not like,
I was so happy they didn't kill him. I was very, very surprised and satisfied that they found a way to write Brian out without him being Shaw killed him, and then now Dom's gonna get really mad, and you know, like, because I thought for sure that's what they're gonna do. Like, I don't know if you had any expectation for how they're gonna write him out, but like. Although you would have known, I guess, because you saw the memes and shit that we talked about earlier, where you saw the pictures of them in the last scene. Like,
yeah, but I don't know. I for some reason thought that there was still like a death involved in it.
Oh, you did think he was gonna die?
What I thought, just from seeing this and like looking as an outsider or whatever, I thought that he did die, and that was just some sort of that was like like it was like Dom sitting there, like, you know, sitting in his car, and then it's like this whole, like, you know, he like pictures Paul Walker pulling up next to him, and that's why they go the separate ways and everything. It's like it was not actually him there, but it was like this, like, you know, kind of final goodbye.
No,
thing.
I was so happy they didn't kill him. I thought that ending was way better than having him actually die. Like, it was just like. This character is now gonna like go. He's gonna live his life, but he's gonna live a separate life from them, and he's gonna put this shit behind him. And
it's definitely
whatever.
different than what a movie would normally do in that situation, for sure.
I really liked it, and I felt like that was a more tasteful way to handle it too.
Yeah,
I don't know. I was just really happy with it,
especially considering the way Paul Walker did die. That like the way they would kill him in a car movie like this is like not
too similar. Yeah,
like
they're just gonna shoot him or something. Like
yeah.
But no, I think they handled every other criticism I'm gonna have this movie aside. That fucking ending is legit fucking beautiful, and like they like knocked that out. That's better than it could have possibly been. Like, I fucking love that.
It's
shit.
crazy watching that too, and they do all the flashbacks.
Yes.
You're like, man, these movies have changed so much.
Yes, yeah.
Like,
and like watching them all age and like
like you almost when they're showing those shots from the Fast and the Furious, you're like. God damn, it's like a completely different series back then.
Yeah, seriously. It's very like, I mean, we've been aware of that. We talk about it in pretty much every video of these, but like it is really weird to like actually like see it.
Yeah.
And like compare the last 2 hours you just watched to the clips from like the first one, similar times. But speaking of the way they wrapped up the movie without him, so I don't know if I'm sure you were aware, I think I've talked about it on the chat room even before, but like this was one of the first times they used CGI to like replace an actor. And like I thought this movie does a pretty decent job of it, especially for being one of like the earlier ones. You can definitely tell, but I think it looks pretty good.
Yeah, so do you know how much of it they did?
Not very much.
Okay, because the only time I noticed it was that like final like scene.
Oh, really? There's other ones in there.
Okay, because that's what I figured there probably was. So I was just, but like, I think it's because it lingers so long on his face
which
that you like start to notice.
They had to for that scene to work.
Because it's like there's something. It's like something with his eyes or something.
Where you're like looking,
you're looking at his face and like something with his eyes are like really off, and that's like. It just doesn't look like him.
Yeah, so like you can tell, but at the same time, if you look long enough, it's like that's a pretty fucking good robot Paul Walker.
Like that's what I was like. knowing that and me like, then like kind of like breaking it apart, like
Yeah.
you can see it, but like they did a great job for
Yeah,
sure.
like I think it's unlike it's weird because this came like years before, but like the Grand Moff Tarkin one in Rogue One, it's like ugh, like I can
Yeah,
tell
that one
and it
looks-
doesn't look good. But this like you can tell, but it's like okay, like
Yeah.
I can like accept it. Like there's a couple.
Well, they used like his brother,
Yes.
right, as like a model
they
for
used
it
I think
too.
two of his brothers.
Okay,
Like they,
so that probably helps too.
what they did was there's a couple scenes sporadically where they have to use CGI face in there, and then like a lot in the final thing in LA. But they have good ways of getting around it. So like in the LA one, a lot of the shots are like in darkness, so they can kind of get away with it better. Then there's some shots that they're shooting from far away, and there's shots in when they're like in the scene we talked about, it was like the city and whatever, they're like overlooking LA or whatever. They have to CGI him there too, but a lot of the scenes, if you're paying attention to it, it's really obvious. They shoot everything but him as much as they can get away with. There's a
really?
couple scenes where they show his face and you're like, whoa, but like for the most part, like you can hear Brian off screen, like he's talking, but they're showing Dom, Letty, Roman, like they had to like shoot around it as best they could. Because like in the middle of the day like that, it's going to be a lot more obvious.
How did they do his lines? Did they have one of their brothers
I
do
don't
it?
know. They might have been. I was thinking about that during. They might have had the brothers do it or whatever. But yeah, what they did is anytime they needed to have him in, obviously like when they're doing reshoots or whatever it was. I'm actually not sure if he just like if he died while the movie was being made or if they had completed it, but then he died and they had to go do reshoots and he wasn't there for those. I'm actually not sure. I think the movie was still in progress when he died, but I could be wrong about that. But regardless, they had his brothers like play him like the body stuff, and then they put the CGI stuff on the face. And sometimes you can notice in the voice. I think there are times when you can hear that it's not quite what he sounds like, but it's
Yeah.
pretty close. Like, but
Yeah, the only time it was really noticeable for me was just that like those final shots.
That's
there at
definitely the
end.
most. That's definitely the most noticeable if you're not looking for it.
Yeah.
Which like I kind of like was at times, but yeah, I thought that stuff was good. It's kind of the story of this movie though, where like they start storylines and they kind of just abandon them. So like you already talked about how like you kind of lose sight of like why Dom wants to get this guy so bad and why we should care so bad. And we also kind of briefly touched on the fact that like you don't really buy that this is any really big change for Brian, because like in the beginning, I love the scene, by the way. It's one of my favorite parts of this movie when like Brian's revving up the car and you see him and he's getting ready. You think he's in a race and he just pulls up to the school to drop the kid off and he's like, oh fuck, like this is lame in a minivan and all that shit. Like that scene's great, but like you can tell they're starting. That's supposed to be a story that carries through the whole movie. Is like Brian coping with being a dad and like this being kind of like a return to his life that he wanted before, but like something's supposed to change, but it doesn't really. Like, and then also on top of that, I have to eat my words a little bit with the fact that I thought they did nothing with the Letty amnesia stuff. I was wrong. They do, but they abandon it and it goes away for so long. And then they kind of just like, oh, and she remembers now.
Yeah.
Like, no wonder I didn't remember it. But it starts out like, I was like, oh, this is good. Like, they actually are doing a shit with this and I like it.
Yeah.
But it just kind of stops mattering. It just goes away. Mm-hmm. And I think that's like, there's a bunch of like stop and start stories in this.
Yeah, I think maybe the the whole Paul Walker thing made them focus more on that storyline that kind of then took something away from the other ones. Like maybe I'm not like trying to like blame him or something, but I'm saying like it's just that I think maybe they were trying to do too much with this movie and like then everything that they were trying to do suffered because of it.
Yeah, I guess it's hard to talk about without us knowing for sure like
what the original plan was.
That and also like when did he die? Did they have this all the way they wanted it and then he died, or like and they had to go like add some stuff in, or like did he die when they were making it? It's like, well, fuck, like now what? Like because I guess I just don't know. It seems to me, because I'm pretty sure that's the real Paul Walker on the beach at least. It looked real to me. If not, then like they did a great fucking job. But like I guess I kind of feel like this was supposed to be, at least for now, like that was the ending they wanted. And maybe in 8, like it's like, oh, but there's some circumstance where Brian does come back. But I feel like that the story was supposed to end with him and his family on the beach like that, where he was going to be out of the action.
Let's see. That's what I was just trying to find it here really quick.
Yeah.
Here, I'm just going to read this part that says redevelopment of Walker's character.
Yeah.
In January 2014, Time reported that Walker's character, Brian O'Connor, would be retired instead of killed, and the new scenes would be developed in order to allow the franchise to continue without him. To recreate Walker's likeness, the filmmakers hired Peter Jackson's Weta Digital visual effect house. Initially, what Weta could do was severely constrained by the quality of the reference material available for Walker's physical appearance. In April 2014, it was reported that Walker's brothers Caleb and Cody had been hired as stand-ins. Their cooperation, along with their strong resemblance to their late brother, enabled the filmmakers to use Walker's likeness throughout the finished film. That is, Weta Digital no longer needed to recreate Walker's entire body from scratch and could focus on accurately modeling his face. The final film showed Walker's face superimposed over the bodies of his brother or actor John Brotherton in 350 visual effects shots.
Yep.
260 used a computer-generated face, while 90 repurposed actual footage of Walker's face borrowed from outtakes of older footage.
Yeah.
Outtakes or older footage. But it doesn't say when during the making of this movie it happened.
So I guess that's some homework for everyone
Yeah.
watching this and us to find out. But I guess we can like just kind of like go away from that since it's hard to really like talk about accurately. But yeah, so other stuff in this one. Like I said, I like that they go back to Race Wars. I like this scene with Brian and the minivan. I like that they go back to Tokyo and they give us Sean again.
Yeah.
That was something as a fan that I had wanted for a long time, was like for him to come back into the movies. What I actually wanted, like when I was like young and like fantasy booking these things, I wanted Sean to come in as like their protege. Like I wanted like him to join the family and he would be like the fucking like young guy that they were kind of teaching how to like ride with them.
Yeah.
And that never happened. Like, and even when I'm glad I got my wish that he was like in them again, but like it's only in for that one scene, and then it's kind of like, all right, like whatever.
Yeah.
It is funny though, like we pointed out, like I was waiting for you to see that part because he aged so dramatically, and it's so noticeable when they cut from the scenes from Tokyo Drift to like the ones they shot for this. Like his like muscle mass is different, his like hair is going away. He just looks older. Like it's
nothing's different.
yeah, yeah. Trying to pass off that it's like it's just like minutes later. It just like it doesn't work. But
It helps that Vin Diesel hasn't really aged much.
Yeah.
That, like he didn't.
Well,
like,
okay, you think that, but didn't you think when they showed those clips from Fast and Furious, he looks super young? I was like, whoa, baby Vin Diesel. Like, because he looks great. Like, so you just, like, you feel like he hasn't aged that much,
Yeah.
but when you compare it to what he looked like back then, like you can do at the end of this movie, I was like, wow, like he has aged, you just can't tell. Like, because it doesn't, like, he still looks good for his age, but he definitely, like, you can definitely tell a difference. He just looks very, like, very youthful.
Just gonna see if I could find a picture here
Yeah.
really quick. I guess you're right.
Yeah, it's pretty noticeable, but only like by like direct juxtaposition. Otherwise, I'd say like, yeah, he hasn't aged a day.
But I wonder like I'm trying to see if maybe I can find like the Tokyo Drift shot, because I'm wondering if he looked like.
Oh yeah, he might have already like, I don't know.
He looks. I mean, all right. He looks a little bit younger in the Tokyo Drift like scene, but
Yeah.
not like that much.
The Fast and the Furious, like the first movie,
one,
looks young as fuck.
The first one's a big difference.
Yeah.
He's also smaller in the first one too.
Yeah.
But he's got like, and he also has like that like little bit of hair going on in the first one too.
Mhm.
But he's got like kind of his like signature look by Tokyo Drift.
Yeah. I like that they tried to give Letty a little more to do in this one, I think.
Yeah.
Like she's the one racing in the beginning. She has in the, is it Abu Dhabi? Is that where they go?
Yeah.
In that whole thing, she's the only one actually like fighting, which is different for a movie like this. The guys are like doing like the stealth and technology shit, and the girl's the one like fucking like doing the physical shit.
Fighting the worst actor in the world.
Fighting Ronda Rousey with like, I don't even want to get into that because not her shining performance, but
she's good at a lot of things.
Yes, not necessarily.
That probably is not one of them.
But like that fight scene does remind me though, like this movie does kind of a weird thing where like the thing that I've praised about them before, they kind of like lose a step on this one where it's like they acknowledge like these guys shouldn't be mixed up in this. They're just fucking like street racers and mechanics and stuff. And like I like when they acknowledge it because it helps. I feel like as long as you acknowledge it, it makes it more believable.
Yeah.
But they make a point in the movies in this one to be like, this is really big for us. And like, we're just normal people. We're not killers. And then they do action sequences like, holy shit, they're like James Bond.
Yeah.
It's like, you can't have both. Like, you can't have it both ways. Like, the scene, okay, like, it was bothering me a little bit during the Letty fight scenes, but I was like, okay, if I'm gonna like dig into the series and like try to defend them and give them the benefit of the doubt, I can maybe buy that when she was with Shaw's crew, she learned some fucking tactical combat shit. So
Yeah.
I can let that slide. But when Tej busts out some like bam, 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 I was like, what? He has not fought in any of these movies ever. I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, how? Like, I think, you know, and I was thinking, I was like, you can save this movie. You can make it all go away. When he turns back to Ramsey, he just goes, I took karate as a kid. It'd be funny and it would like blow it away. It's like, all right, cool, I'm down. But they're just like, I did it because the script told me to. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, what? Like, how the fuck? It's so like jarring and weird. I don't know. That it really like bothered me. Like, like everyone on the team now is just like a like martial art. They even call it out and like Ramsey knows that Brian is an ex-cop because he like had training and
Yeah.
like could fight them. But at that rate, it's like Tej is a cop too. Letty was in the fucking Black Ops. Like they're all fighting like that. They're all fighting like that.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird. But I was happy though. Speaking of one of the fight scenes, I really liked actually. It's the one part of that climax stuff that I actually like got into, like brought me back into it. Is the fight scene between Brian and like the random martial arts dude.
Yeah.
There was some cool stuff in that, and they fixed the thing that I complained about in 6, where the guy in the beginning when they're on the bus is like too slow, and then Brian like sends him to his death, and he's like too slow. I was like, oh yeah, cool. They did what I wanted them to. They like paid off on like Brian getting owned earlier.
Yeah, maybe that was the whole master plan. And so like, you know what, people are gonna hate us at first, but
No,
it'll all come
I
back
think it
around.
actually might be more of the latter one thing. They're like, oh shit, we should have done the fucking wink. We'll fix it this time.
Why didn't
Like,
no
we'll-
one think of that?
We'll do it this time. But yeah, I like that too. I'm just thinking of, like, I'm trying to think of more positives to balance out how much I fucking hate that last few scenes. It's ridiculous, but again, it's like the safe scene where it's on like the right side of ridiculous, like the taking the car through the 3 buildings.
Yeah.
It's like just plausible enough and cool enough where I'm like, all right, like that's fun.
Well, that's what, yeah, like that's one of those things I was talking about, like right at the beginning, where I was just like, it's like goofy, but it's like fun goofy, like it's
Yeah.
enjoyable goofy.
Yeah,
like
like-
you're like, all right, yeah, well, that's
Yeah.
we're in for it.
Driving
it's a
the car
movie.
through the buildings and like backing the cars out of the plane and parachuting with the cars. That was like cool. And
Yeah.
I liked it. It was fucking ridiculous, but it
Yeah.
was cool and fun.
It's
Like,
one of those things you're just like, yeah, it's a movie. All right, we're cool.
I liked that stuff. I just wish we didn't have a fake lightsaber fight with lead
Yeah.
pipes and shit at the end. That really
that
bothers
part,
me.
That's part. It's pretty freaking ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just so lame. It's so like cheesy and lame. And like, this was the first movie where I wondered like, are they doing this on purpose? Like there were elements. I feel like other parts of the movies are written too sincerely to where like I think they are trying to make like the best like serious like action movie they can. To where like. But this one I was like, I can't tell if they're doing this on purpose.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it's so over the top that it feels like they know it's like, all right, like we're doing like just how much Dom says family and like and like Shaw's like, you know, whatever, like the enemy of my enemy's a friend. It's like, I don't have friends, I have family. And it's like, you know, like, it's like I sometimes can't tell in this one. And the other ones I feel like it's played pretty straight and sometimes it's just a little ridiculous. But
Well-
this one is like, what are they trying to do?
And the line, like the one thing about a street fight.
Yeah, that
the
one's
street always wins.
Yes.
You got to think that a professional writer didn't actually
That's
think that
what
was
I'm
good.
saying. Is this on purpose sometimes? Like, I don't know. And like, I don't know, man. And like the weird soap opera music playing over the phone call with Brian and Mia. Because I think the content of the phone call was fine and actually could have been a really like well done scene had it been just letting us like watch them talk. But with the music playing, it was like, feel this way, like be sad, be emotional. And like, it felt like really over the top. And I was wondering, it's like, are they trying to make this cheesy or like, it just felt like a weird choice to make.
Yeah.
It felt like the trailer for The Shack was randomly inserted into this movie. Like, it's just very specific, I know, but like playing music over an emotional scene feels more like a trailer than a real scene in a movie.
I don't know. I mean, that kind of stuff happens in movies.
I guess.
It's not-
Maybe it was like the specific music or the way they were shooting it. Like something about it made me think this is a weird scene. But I don't think it's in terms of what was happening. I think that phone call was like good and like whatever. It just like the way they chose to present it, I guess, was weird.
So we've had 2 people who have competed at WrestleMania in these movies now.
Yes. Wait.
Yeah. Ronda Rousey has competed at WrestleMania.
No, she didn't. She appeared. She didn't
Compete. We have had 2 people who have been in the ring at WrestleMania who have fought people.
Yes.
Or did she actually hit somebody? She might just get in the ring and like they run out. I don't remember. I don't. Yeah, but either way, how long till Batista's in one of these movies?
That'd be fun. I'd be down.
Wouldn't it be awesome?
Yeah, it'd be great.
Batista is a bad guy and then a fist fight with Batista and The Rock. I mean, come on. Like seriously?
Did you like The Rock flexing out of his cast?
Yes, I did actually. That's another one of those. I was like, this is so stupid, but I love it.
Yeah.
That's honestly like there's a lot of stuff in this movie that was just so dumb, but I loved it. Like I'm
kind of with you and kind of not. There were times that I liked it and times I was like, this is too stupid, can't do it.
Hello.
Oh no.
Okay.
We're not done talking about Furious 7, and he's gonna come up and be like, it's shit, it's schlock. I watched the Red Letter Media review, and they said it was schlock. I want to talk about real opinions about the movie. Even if I'm making fun of the same things, I actually like want to see the good. I want to see the good in these movies, not just like, it's funny because it's bad. Like, when I'm pointing out the bad, it's because I want it to be good. Like,
yeah,
it's different. I'm not a troll. But I don't know. I guess I covered most of what I wanted to talk about anyway.
Yeah.
I guess like it's still not one of my favorites, although there are moments in it that are amazing, like the Paul Walker shit at the end, and like I really do like some of the early on action set pieces and like the way they set up a lot of the beginning. Actually, a lot of the beginning of the movie is really good. I forgot too. I wanted to mention the very first scene, the opening scene with fucking Jason Statham is awesome. He's in the hospital room.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
And you think it's normal, and then as it goes on, he's walking through like the hospital he destroyed, and like you're seeing like the carnage like in reverse almost. Like that was really cool and inventive. Yeah. And it made him look awesome. Like I feel like after that scene, he kind of stopped being cool. Like I thought he was like gonna be the most badass villain ever in that end credit scene, and in that first scene of this movie was like, oh fuck yes, I'm getting what I wanted. And then it's kind of like, oh, he's just kind of like a bad guy. Like,
my thing that I really want to know is where he got that wine glass from when he was eating dinner in that warehouse.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
I will say though that I this isn't my top half for these movies. I did legitimately enjoy this one as much as like. Just like the ridiculous, like over the top stuff. I mean, I still like just really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I guess what I was getting to it, that was like, I do like it a lot more than I remembered. Yeah. In my memory of this movie, I'll tell you what, like when I picture Furious 7 until we just rewatched it, what I saw was scene with Brian at the minivan at the school, the ending stuff with like the sad moving shit, and Vin Diesel and Jason Statham fighting with the fucking pipes. Like that's all I saw when I thought about this one. It's like I was happy to remember some of the stuff that actually was good and cool that I liked about it. So it's higher on my list than I thought it was, but it's still, I don't know. It's probably like in the low middle for me somewhere.
And we'll say 7 movies in, and still none of them are the same. They're all very different movies.
Although it's weird though, because I was thinking about that during. It's like, you're right, like none of them are the same, but at the same time, they kind of start to blend together for me. And maybe, I don't know why that would be. Do you feel like that at all? Like when you start to think about 5, 6, 7, do you kind of start to forget which thing happened in which movie? Like, because it does for me.
Yeah, I mean, I can remember like the overarching like plot line. Yeah. But the actual like action sequences in them, it does kind of start to get a little muddled. Like
certain scenes, like I will think for a second, like, oh yeah, this part in 6, like, wait a second. Oh shit, that's in 7. And this thing, oh wait, that's 5. I'll like mix them up, but they are different. Like
that's, I was more just going at like the actual story of them. They don't like just go, and we're back again. Like, you know, like it's time. Oh, this time he's a real bad guy. Yeah. And like, I don't know.
Oh, one more thing before I forget. Kurt Russell rules in this movie.
Did you think that he looked like extra skinny in this movie?
I didn't notice.
I don't know. I just kept thinking that every time I saw him. But yes, he is awesome.
Yeah.
He's great in this movie. But yeah, I just kept thinking that after seeing him in Guardians of the Galaxy, maybe he's just a little bigger in Guardians of the Galaxy then. But I just kept thinking like, man, he looks tiny in this.
He stands out a lot more than I remember. And maybe that it helps because like I became a big fan of Kurt Russell as an actor over the last like couple months. Like I've been like, watching more of his stuff. I'm like, he's great. But like when I saw this movie the first time, I was like, oh, like that character's fine. But this time, like I actually really liked that character.
Yeah.
And I liked that like he kind of at times was like he was kind of like poking fun at certain like tropes of that kind of character. I can't think of anything off the top of my head right now, which sucks 'cause I had examples, but like he kind of like is like genre savvy. Like he knows like what would normally happen in these movies.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, like whatever. But this is, I don't know. I wish I had a better example than nothing, but I like the character was
he's
fun.
nobody.
Yeah, Mr. Nobody.
Yeah.
No, he's fun.
Yeah, he's a character that I'm interested to see more from.
Yeah.
And I could see, like, you know, I I don't know if he's good at all in 8, but I think that in the next 2 or whatever that they have to make, they could do some interesting things with him.
They could, yeah. But yeah, so I like this one okay, except for the end, and Ben likes this one a lot. So,
yeah, so there
that's
you go.
Furious 7.
Thanks for watching. You can find more stuff at alienhappyhour.com. And of course, if you like these videos and you want some more Fast and Curious, there's the whole playlist. You can hit subscribe and we'll keep you up to date with everything we're doing, all the live streams, all the skits, all that good stuff. Got anything else you want to say, Chris?
Just that unfortunately there is another movie after this, so
right.
we will be watching Fast 8 whenever we get a chance.
We'll be back.
Oh, Fate of the Furious. Sorry, it's not Fast 8.
Yeah.
Fate of the Furious.
We will be back with the title that I have been really looking forward to using, and that is Fate of the Curious.
There you go. Good job.